Hi, welcome. My name's Dale McCluskey, and on this video, as part of my series called Flipping the Script, I'm going to be continuing on the theme regarding getting blindsided in terms of dogs as it relates to those identified as balanced dog trainers. Again, profiling the prior two situations involving Tom Davis and being redirected on by a dog, engaging in the allowing the dog to express control through the game of tug. Yeah, talk about why that's problematic, based again on the level of control a dog has already gained in the relationship, the intent with change perception of dogs, and those core ingredients I talk about coming in reconciled through a intentional interaction-based method that's going to change the focus on the handler or dog owner the right way first, prior to allowing a dog to express control in and through the handler, the relationship, turning it into what I call a conditional state. And so here, the situation again, very similar. Again, watch the Danny Wells situation, same type of themes involved. Watching, Wells interacting with Kane, using treats. You're going to see the same thing happening here. Bribery, assuming that that everything's going along well, that change is happening. But again, by way of motivating a response using something the dog wants. Dog is moving around doing a sit down, come and stay, and assuming that those responses represent change. Okay, and again, the end result, blindsided, a moment of aggression, and it's like, where did that come from? It's like questioning. Again, the words of Wells saying the dog wasn't wired right. Again, talk about, well, no, actually, what's not wired right is this idea that training is a learning-based exercise. Okay, this issue of leaving that door wide open for a dog to continue to hold control through a process, and then, and then getting blindsided, redirected on, and again, leading to a problem. Now you see this more so again these what I call the high drive dogs. Okay, the dogs that I call them the 1 percentile dogs that have a higher level of social need. Really important. Okay, that prior to starting to engage, allowing the dog to express control, that the handler is faded in. Okay, to the relationship, perceived the right way, at the right level, before starting to engage this way, starting to branch off out into protection. So again, if you're a trainer or a handler wanting to do protection work, I'd encourage you to watch these videos. It may help you avoid situation where someone's going to get injured. Now here, another situation, I'm going to profile the same situation. You're gonna recognize the same themes I've talked about on the Danny Wells situation. Now this is out of Canada. Shield Canine has Othman, fellow Canadian, okay, a dog named Mace. Now I'm gonna play some of this again. You hear this trainer talking about this dog coming back to him, biting his owner, putting the owner in the hospital due to a dog bite. But again, I'm going to go through and talk about these themes here. This issue about, and you'll hear the same type of verbiage here about just seeming like came out of nowhere, right? But again, I encourage you to think about, the themes that are involved here, how these balanced dog trainers define change, the core ingredients I talk about, influence and control, needing to be reconciled, okay, needing to come in through a intentional interaction-based method that's going to, fade, okay, the handler, the owner in the right way, the right level before starting to, starting to engage in allowing the dog to express control through again, define that as a conditional state. This is where, again, everything filters through the relationship. Understand that everything comes through. So being the pivot point, it's all about dogs against pack animals, but also in terms of, how they see the human, okay, and how to achieve that result as, again, just like going through a sequence. Okay, so here I'm going to play some of this video. stop along the way to offer some commentary.
And I'm here with, guess who? Macey Boy. All right, so I'm here with Mace. Now, I know a lot of you know Mace from the YouTube channel from when I brought him back from the Netherlands roughly around this time last year. If you don't know who Mace is the giant Dutch Shepherd that I purchased in the Netherlands. He's from KNPV Lines, and I brought him back here, and it was a little bit of an exciting series of videos on me working with this dog and bringing him to the point where, you know, he had some training, some impulse control, so on and so forth.
Again, had some training, but again, the question is, well, what does that mean? Like, how's that defined, right? You see these handlers, you know, trainers using treats, right? Motivating dogs to respond, assuming those responses can be trusted, you know, using that as a, you know, as a foundation for change. But again, talk about the core ingredients, influence and control, right? Coming in, again, truly in terms of changing perceptions of dogs. So understand, when you get into this whole issue within the framework of response, this is based off of nothing more than assumptions. Okay, but you know that something's wrong right away because you get this issue about, you know, dogs, you know, redirecting or getting blindsided. Well, you know that it's not, you know, the handler, the owner isn't in right relationship. Okay, that isn't just some sort of mindless thing going on where it's like comes out of nowhere, but it seems to come out of nowhere, right? Because the fact is you're not in right relationship. You're not perceived the right way.
If you want to check out that YouTube series, go back and check it out. I believe I started posting them November last year. We'll probably post the little linky thing below. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Mace, probably for about the last 5 months, has been sold. He has been living with his new handler. And his new handler is no stranger to the breed. His new handler has kept multiple Dutch Shepherds in the past. And his new handler is, I'll just say this, he's no dummy and he's no pushover.
So no dummy, no pushover. What does that mean? Again, talk about a process that is intentional, then that transfers over, okay, to you know, to the new owner. This can be seen through a board and train process. That's why I talk about why it's so common for, say, a board and train process to wash out. Okay, based again on, you know, what this ideology, this learning-based ideology, by way of using treats, bribing dogs, right? So whatever level of change has happened, okay, and again, through, those core ingredients, influence and control, through how the trainer is interacting with, okay, that dog over a period of time, beyond this idea of things. But then what happens is, you know, this ideology, okay, transfers over. The dog goes back home with the owner. And then again, because again, going back into the home environment, going back with the originator of the relationship, right? It's like the parent. And then this idea of things, right? This bribery-based idea of things does not generate what needs to be generated in the relationship by way of those two core ingredients, influence and control. Things wash out, right? You waste your time, you waste your money, but that's the whole thing about understanding about coming out on the other side of a process with a predictable outcome. Understand the only way that those two core ingredients, influence and control, can be reconciled is through a intentional interaction-based method. Okay, it's not about motivating dogs using treats this way. The relationship is the motivator. Okay, you do not want to motivate responses the way these trainers are doing it, because it sets up the scenario, especially when a dog, you're dealing with what I call the 1 percentile dog. Okay, those dogs are going to expose the underbelly, and these are the situations I'm profiling, the underbelly of this ideology. Okay, getting blindsided, bad things happening.
He might not be a professional dog handler, but he definitely knows a lot more than most, and he's a good guy. So
he's a good guy. That doesn't mean anything. You can be a good guy, but you better have the right process.
Ace had a very good relationship with the handler. They were hanging out a lot. They were going in the woods a lot.
In the woods, see, that means nothing. Okay, I mean, this whole thing. This is why you hear language from these trainers. It's when you're dealing with superficial idea things, you're going to get a superficial narrative. Okay, it's this whole type of just, hanging out. It's just the inability to connect these dots.
They were doing training a lot, and just like the relationship I had with Mace, they were buddies. Everything was going good. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago.
So they're buddies. What does that mean? It's like I talk about the step parent who comes in a relationship and say, I'm going to be, I'm going to hang out, I'm going to be the friend here. I'm going to buddy up. And that's going to be a problem, especially if the child's already selfish. Okay. So this whole thing with the Tom Davis thing, if you pay attention to building a rapport with the dog, a dog that's already gained control in the relationship, right? The dog was there for a reason. It starts to allow the dog to express control in and through the game of tug to build a rapport. Okay. I mean, go watch the video.
Mace bit the handler. And it wasn't over, I know, before anyone, oh, what did he do? It's a duchy. A lot of people are always, what did he do? In many cases, you don't really have to do anything. And unfortunately,
you don't have to do anything. Let's just write it off.
I wish it was over something. I'll say this. I wish it was over something. I'll get more into the specifics of it later, maybe. But I wish it was over something.
So right here, bribery. Right? You do A, B, you get C. Right? Response, superficial response.
Suffice to say, he severely injured his handler. And his handler...
Loose leash. Right? Dog's in full control here. Dog's, turned around, fixating on something else.
Ended up in the hospital.
Here's your treat.
It was not
to the handler, they'll end up in the hospital.
Overtraining. I'll say that. They were just...
I'll say that. He's not saying much because he can't offer much, right? Because of the process. So just this all bribery based here.
Just having some...
See, bribery. Dog spins around, it's just, think about that. But that's a problem. If the goal here, which it should be, is to, change the perception of dogs the right way and then, move into, say, protection work, you better make sure that this dog's perceiving you the right way. Those core ingredients need to come in.
Some time hanging out together, and the handler wasn't even looking at the dog or talking to the dog or paying any attention to the dog. He had no equipment on the dog. Nothing happened previously. It was just a day like any other day. And unfortunately, it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere.
See, same thing. Watch the hands. Bribery based. That's what balanced dog training represents.
And I hate stuff like that. I hate any kind of handler aggression.
See? Bribery based. Now let's move into, because it's the same themes I talk about. So here, Mace is back, and we got a superficial process, in play, right? After the dog put the owner into the hospital, well, guess what you're going to see next? Fight work.
Good.
Right?
Place. Seat.
So no intentional control or influence over this dog.
Seat.
He's got a remote collar going here. But again, this is where dogs will blow through that. Understand it because, again, it has to align. Has to, I talk about being intentional, right? Through, again, being expressed in and through the relationship through a leash. It needs to be intentional. With the level of how this dog's perceiving, the dog's level of what I call stinking thinking. But this shouldn't be happening in the first place. Not until this is, again, when a dog has bitten somebody, put someone in the hospital, guess what? The right process needs to come online. It needs to hold together, right, for a period of time. Until, right, you come into, I call right relationship, until you're faded in. Then you can start to extend this out through allowing the dog to express control in and through the relationship. All right, so right here, superficial process, and now again, this dog is being allowed to express control this way.
He's like, God damn it! Please let me bite this motherfucker. Up. Seat.
See, just total focused on
one more, Mace. You just be a good boy. Mace. Look. Good
See,
job. Sit.
No intentional control being brought on this dog in and through the leash. You want, again, this is about how everything filters through. In my videos, you see how the dog's head is turned inwards. That inwardness represents that fading in part. And here you'll see, and I'll keep playing this, but you'll notice moments here.
Yell over your shoulder in a second. Stellan.
I thought it's pushing forward.
Set him up. Stellan. Good job. Good. Keep your, where your
And he's reaching in for that remote collar.
arm is the problem. Turn your arm up. Yes. Stellan. Good job, Stellan. Good. Tuck your hands. Mace. Lois. Transport. Walking. Ah.
It's a secondary bite there. Now, again, when you get again, you have enough information to know, right? This dog put the handler in the hospital. So now you're extending this, let this dog express control this way. Some trainers see this as a way to outlet the dog. Bad idea. Okay. And so here, because even when you use the remote collar this way, right, it's not coming together the right way. This dog will know. It's like that I call it device awareness. Okay, this dog might release at certain points, but the dog still doesn't have a healthy way of thinking, of expressing, because it's not defined. In and through, again, I talk about those core ingredients coming in through a process, aligning the integrity of that, holding together for a certain period of time to secure the relationship. Okay, to bring the dog's perceptions, truly make it solid. So here, when you start to engage this way, you start to use that remote collar, you'll see moments here, if you watch this clip,
Transport.
you can tell this dog's overly
Slow.
focused on this
Slow.
person.
Slow.
Not with him.
Slow. Halt. Seat. Again. Transport. 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 Good. You looking for something? You want to try to run away? Go. Yeah. Step. Down. Yeah, now set him. Let him bite. Oh. Dirty fuck. Me.
Say problem. So here, again, all to say, again, I'd encourage anyone who's a trainer, understand the problems here, okay, when it comes to top of the 1 percentile dog, high drive dog. You want to make sure the relationship is secure first by way, again, top of those two core ingredients, influence and control, coming through. It's like going through a sequence, okay? It's like clean up the relationship first, right? Then start to extend out from there. So here, because again, you know, this dog has already put someone in the hospital, and now you're messing around, right? You're allowing this dog to express this way. That sets up that can create the scenario where this relationship is not in a good way at all. Then someone else gets bitten, someone else gets blindsided. Okay, so again, my encouragement again, check out the videos again. I put them out there, help people understand. But again, dogs are amazing animals. Again, in terms of I call it getting the full package, okay, with what you want, making sure it's defined properly, okay? It's got to filter through. Everything's got to filter through the relationship. Those two core ingredients, they have to be there at the right way, reconciled the right way by way of a intentional interaction-based method. Thanks for watching.